Hey everyone! So for those of you who are wondering why I look so different, even though these two videos were shot on the same day, I have just obviously changed and done my makeup, which is actually just lipstick. And I think this is the first time I've ever worn lipstick in one of these videos, but it's because I bought this a couple weeks ago and I just really like it, so I've been wearing it quite a bit. But yeah. Anyway, okay, so this is going to be part 2 of the Cloak and Dagger Christmas Readathon participation co-host announcement video, and that is such a long spiel. But anyway, I have to do this in like 10 minutes, so we'll see if it can get done. Definitely go watch part 1 first, because I talk about what the Readathon is, I talk about some of the prompts, I talk about, obviously, who created it and the co-hosts for this, and just to reiterate that real quick, it was created by the wonderful Howe, and she very kindly invited me, or myself, and Kate from the novel Nomad, and Mel from MelsBooklandAdventures to join her in co-hosting. So I'm just really excited about this. And I also talk about the first prompt, which is sugar and spice, in the first video, so definitely go check that out. So on with the other prompts. And just to reiterate, you can interpret these any way you like. You can read as many or as few as you like. It's a very relaxed readathon. Okay, so for summer, sorry, second prompt is summer, winter. So for summer, I took these very literally, and so first I chose Dream of Orchids by Phyllis Whitney, which I read when I was 12, and it gave me nightmares for 3 months, and yet eventually became one of my favorite books. And see, I haven't read it since then, but I just, as I thought about it as I got older, I really started to appreciate it for the emotions that it caused in me, and realized that I was just overly sensitive as a 12-year-old, and it just has one of the coolest endings, I think. So I chose this for summer because of the orchid factor. Orchids are really their own character in this story. They're very symbolic. They pop up all the time. The main character dreams about them because they're supposed to tell her something about her past, which is, you know, ergo the title. So yes, that's just a really good one. And next that I haven't read is actually A Caribbean Mystery by Agatha. This is a Miss Marple, and I chose this because of Lil over at Lil's Vintage World, because I was rewatching her Marple Tommy and Tuppence bookshelf tour the other day, and when she got to Caribbean Mystery, she just talked about how much she loved it and that she always reads it in summertime, and I was like, why haven't I ever decided to do that? And then I was like, wait a minute, I can use it for this prompt for this readathon. So I'm excited to have one Marple in the midst of all the Poirot that I'm going to be reading. So there's that. And then winter, I picked Mystery in White by J. Jefferson Farjan. This is a British Library crime classic that I read last Christmas/January, and this completely surprised me. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I love it almost, I love it about as much as some of my favorite Agatha Christie's. It really, I started reading it, and it kind of reminded me of 2 Agatha Christie books that I really like that I'd read before, so I thought, oh, well, I know how this is going to end. And then the ending completely threw me off, and I really loved it. I thought it was so cool. So, yeah, that was great. And it's called Mystery in White because it is set at Christmas in an English country house where everyone is snowed in because of a blizzard, which is my favorite trope ever in mystery books. Basically, if it has that trope, I will pick it up. But that, and it also, snow is actually the cause of the people getting stuck there, because they're all on a train initially, and the train goes into a snowbank, and they all get off and find this house, and then find out somebody was murdered on the train, so then they stay in the house and try to figure out who the killer is. So it's very interesting, and I really like it. And the next one is that I haven't read is Santa Claus Mystery, Santa Claus Murder by Mavis Dorial Hay. This is another British Library crime classic, and it is set also in a country house. at Christmas time, and in this case it's a family Christmas gathering, and the patriarch of the family is killed, and a Santa Claus is the one who discovers him. So really looking forward to that one. So next up is Old and New. So for Old, I picked Mysterious Affair at Styles by Agatha Christie. This is the first Poirot book. It was her first book at all. It was published in I think it was her first book at all, and it was published in 1927. So at this point it's over 90 years old, and it was kind of the book that started it all for her, and I just think it's wonderful because the way that it introduces the way that Poirot thinks and the way that it introduces his friendship with Hastings. Their friendship is one of my favorite literary friendships ever. So yeah, I just highly recommend that as a old but good place to start. Next is 9 Coaches Waiting. This is my pick for the one that I haven't read that is old, because it was published in 1958, and it'll be my first Mary Stuart, and I'm just really, really excited about it because I've heard amazing things from so many people. So that's that one. And then next is New. So for New, I have Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley, which is the first Flavia de Luce book. It's set in the 50s, but it's actually written and published in 2009, and so it's kind of a newer mystery, and I would just recommend this because it has so many things for everyone. Like, there's so many things to pick from that you like. If you like stamp collecting, if you like chemistry, if you like precocious children, if you like murder mysteries, if you like all kinds of crazy literary references, if you really like very intelligent writing, if you like England, if you like the 50s, so many things about this book are just so great. So yes, very highly recommend. And then for one that's new to me and almost brand new, is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. For those of you who've heard of this book and you live in the UK or Australia, you might be slightly confused because it's actually called The 7 Deaths over there, and I don't know why the different countries, I don't know who changed it, whether it was the UK that changed it or the US that changed it, but I don't really get why. I don't know why a half had to be added or subtracted, but we will see. But I have not been this excited for a mystery in a very long time. Next is, and last, is actually Home and Travel. So for Home, I have Silver Hill by Phyllis A. Whitney, another one, and I love this even more than Dream of Orchids, and I picked this because a young woman has to go to her mother's family home and kind of uncover the mystery of why her mother was outcast from her family, and there's just a lot of dark family secrets that she has to figure out. And then for one I haven't read, I picked I'm Half Sick of Shadows by Alan Bradley. This is the 4th Flavia de Luce. It's the holiday one, and everyone ends up getting snowed in at Flavia's house in Buckshaw, so I thought that was fitting. Next is Travel. For the one I've read, I picked Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. The whole thing practically takes place on the Orient Express, and it is my favorite Poirot ever, and I don't think anything is going to change that. I think it is so brilliant. And then the one I haven't read, I picked 2. I picked Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, which is another Poirot, and it is one of the Poirots that is in my chronological read-through. And then I also picked Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson, which is her new YA mystery series, detective mystery series, I guess, and it takes place in a boarding school that is away from the main character's home. Like, she has to go out of state to go to boarding school, so I picked that one. And then some that do not fit in the prompts that I want to read for this are the Big Book of Christmas Mysteries. I'm not going to read all of them, just a couple. And Hercule Poirot's Christmas, and Lost in a Good Book, which is part of the Thursday Next series by Jasper Fforde, and then Appointment with Death, which is another Poirot, and Dumb Witness, which is another Poirot, and I think that's it. So there we go. There are all of the books that I'm reading for this readathon. I am so incredibly excited. I'm so excited to talk about it with the other ladies. I'm so excited to hear what you guys are going to be reading for this if you want to participate. Thank you so much for sticking with me through 2 videos, and I will again link all the channels down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.